Yes. Yes, 2 times. Y'all know the fucking vibes. She like, ooh la la, ah wee wee. They go, ooh la la, ah wee wee. She like, ooh la la, ah wee wee. I'm like, ooh la la, ah wee wee. Okay, ooh la la, ah wee wee. She like, ooh la la, ah wee wee. She'll never get old. That's why I rock with her at the beginning, you know what I mean? Ooh la la. Looking for M's like I lost a friend. Hop out of the bed like, where's the bread? What it do, people? You're now tuned in. POPAVIST. POPAVIST TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here, one more again. So if it's your first time, the question is, where you been? Over here, we deal with sports, hip-hop, entertainment, Popavisms 101, and motivation. So if that sound like something you can rock with, then before you exit and diddy to the left, hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, so when I upload the videos, you get alerted. And if it's not your first time, then you know how I start the show. You know how I do. Tony, there was no other way. We're clearly in the end game. Shout out to anybody that watched the Moonlight joint yet. No, it came out tonight. I ain't catch it yet. But we is in the end game. And we in the end game because obviously the spill out of the Will Smith is still, everybody got an opinion. And, you know, it's the clown, it's the defend, it's the, you know, right or wrong. And hopefully it's really just a learning lesson. A lot of people look at it as a sucker move or not. And, you know, it's a lot of dynamics, people going all the way back to 2016. But then you see another clip on the other video where Marlon Wayans is actually acting like Chris Rock on a, you know, doing a skit at either the BET Awards or one of the MTV Awards. And then you see that plays out this way, except Diddy smacked him. And now this case is Will Smith smacking him. You know, the brokenness, everybody piling on him, etc. Y'all know my thoughts. Go see the other video. But what I want to jump to real quick is just a few things. I mean, not really about Will no more. It's unfortunate. I think it was crazy. Sucker move. Couple of people is mad that Gail was asking Jim Carrey, the Mask, his opinion, making it black and white. And in this case, I don't think it's about black and white. It's about niggas and bitches. And it's about punks and rock. Like, you know what I mean? What side are you on? And I'm being funny, but I'm not. That's a Tupac reference. Niggas and bitches, punks and riders, and which side are you on? It's not about black and white. He nearly was just giving his opinion as far as whether he should have been arrested. And let me address this too real quick, because I never really said my thoughts on whether it was fake or not. It doesn't matter if it was fake or not. Well, to me, actually, if it was fake and it was scripted, like, you know what I mean? They put their spin on it, it looks even worse. But what I thought about today, as people was going back to, you know, the yesteryears, 4 years, they haven't been there for 4 years to my knowledge. So maybe this was the grandstand, like to jack the Oscars, like to do some real skit shit and have the world buzzing. Or maybe they just distracting us from the real shit that's going on. You know, Haiti still fucked up. You know what I mean? It's been something days. People still getting pushed back from the borders. Obviously, the Ukraine is the fresh and the new. You know what I mean? And after a couple of days, this shit gonna be over too. This shit is almost like far as it's magnified more now because niggas got TV shows and all that. Like, you looking through the screen and, you know, you tuning in to see what various people got to say. Everybody got an opinion, and that's what it would have been going on anyway without social media. It just would have been in the households. But now that, you know, you can raise your voice, let every voice, you know, raise and sing, you can put your 2 cents in it. And that's what I'm doing as well. But since everybody is talking about it, it is a lot of other shit that's going on. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know what I mean? What's really the end game? Like, Tony, there was no other way. But Tiffany Haddish, right? Like, she was there. That's what I want to talk about. because I spoke about this and, you know, the sense that we have to rock other people's shit to feel important. Like, I mean, you know, the rabbit hole goes deep with, you know, when it comes to material shit, money, power, and fame, like money, power, respect, etc. And when you live in that world, obviously, you know, the average person, they can't relate. Like, you may get some snippets if you're a traveler, you know, stuff like that. We all human, so you may have some experience. But some of us can't just rent, like, you know what I mean, rent out the aquarium to walk through to have a Valentine's date or something, you know what I mean? And who did that shit? Michael B. Jordan for Lori. Rent the whole shit out, it's magnified, it's fly. Like, a lot of us can't do that, you know what I mean? So that's what I mean, like, when you in that life, you reaching a certain plateau. Like, this was Will's first Oscar after all these years, and real quick, too. Samuel Jackson, like, this shit overshadowed a lot of shit. He didn't win an Oscar, but he won an Oscar, but not for playing in no roles. But when you do the little studying in history, you say, damn, out of every actor, black or white, but you're black. He has, you know, starred or been in the most films ever. Over 150, I think it's like 151, some odd number, some shit like that. And they finally recognized it and say, damn, 40 years in the play. Sheesh, like, you know what I mean? And it's good for him. It's a big moment, obviously, you know what I mean, with the Avengers. That's motherfucking, you know what I mean, Fury, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about the Fury in the title. We'll talk about that in a second. That's, you know what I mean? That's S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I mean? So, you know, that's what he's most recently known for now, at least Marvel to me. And he stayed relevant for mad long. But he was mad excited to be acknowledged by the other. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though Denzel presented it to him. So I just wanted to say that. But now let's get back to Haddish, right? It's a viral clip of her coming out of this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Styled on Vegas, like, mouthed off at the cops out of cranberry drops. She just coming out the Oscars. Maybe she was feeling good and zesty and all that. And whatever reporter who it was a lady, you know what I mean, a female lady. And she was asking, like, the first thing she came with it was like, oh, you went and switched costumes? And then she was like, nah, like, this ain't no costume. This is a nightgown. And, you know, this is Dolce & Gabbana, like, styled on haters. Like, again, mouthed off at the cops out of the cranberry drops. Like, we doing Vegas dirty tonight. And wherever, I think they was in LA or whatever they was again, you know what I mean? And, you know, she corrected them. And obviously, I don't think it was like saying the costume like was in a negative way. It's just some elegant fly shit, but maybe that's how she took it. You know what I mean? But then she like, this was success look like. Start styling a little bit more. And I won't say sit down, be humble, like, you know what I mean? Because you could, in the sense of this. It's like, that's one form of success. Like, all right, you up there with the Gucci and the Gabbana and all that. And when I put all my Gucci shit up on here, for those that seen the show, like, green Gucci suit, green Gucci suit, green Gucci suit, green Gucci suit. The little bit of shit that I did buy, you know, when I was on some damn the new loafers hurt my pockets on some Kanye West shit. Trying to impress or be accepted in a sense. Like, just coming out, seeing what niggas doing, want to travel, niggas is jaked up, getting fresh. So I wanted to do that shit too. Like, you know what I mean? Rock out. Style. And I remember buying my first pair of Maury's, $600. Like, still was working and copped them joints. And I had a female styling me, like, you know what I mean, a little piece of gator and a whole bunch of, you know what I mean, tire rubber. Like, you paid $600 for nothing. Like, you got a nothing sandwich. And that's the little side show. It was funny thinking back, like, yeah, like, just because somebody else put it in the rhyme or whatever. You know what I mean? And, you know, we idolize and look up to until you come to a mature level or the wisdom grow through experience and living off experience like the Locks live. You know what I mean? You say, damn. So the point is, when Mayweather, when these people are sitting at the game, like Rick Ross spend $20,000 just to get, you know what I mean, just to sit at the front row of the game and get sweat dripped on, they be having the most, you know, the shit that we see in the video, the shit that niggas, you know, value and idolize. So when she like, yeah, this what success look like, bitches, niggas, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. This is Dolce & Gabbana. And I ain't even gonna get to the other comment about it being a beautiful world. You know what I mean? When she talking about Will smacking Chris Rock. My book is coming out, you know what I mean? When the lady was asking her, but imagine if she had on a black person, like, oh, but you're black. Like, imagine if she said, this is, you know what I mean? the new Aquawear, you know what I mean, or such and such, you know what I mean, my person out of the Bronx or Brooklyn or California, this they shit. I pay 200,000 or, you know what I mean, $5,000 or. I was talking about Tiffany Haddish and how she came out and styled on the haters, and it would have been fly and, you know, more impressive if she would have just said it was a different designer, you know what I mean? Some Latino or somebody like that. And I get it, those is the big brands, the Louis, the Gucci, and, you know, all that shit that people, you know, spend a whole bunch of dollars on, you know what I mean? Come through with the Gucci everything, you know what I mean? Gucci down to the socks, rings and the rocks, filled with rocks, and my jam knocks, like, you know what I mean? So it's embedded and it's enwooled into the fabric of just where we come from. So I get it. But when you make it, like, we gonna make it, when you do make it, push the culture forward in that way. That's a greater legacy than, know what I mean, paying them Jews money for Porsches, know what I mean, for cases and all that. It's a lot of Jewish lawyers, a lot of black lawyers too, but you get the point that Jada was making, and know what I'm saying, and the song that I'm talking about. You keep giving them money for Porsches and to live lavishly and to keep building them up. In the meantime, you telling the people that's aspiring or looking to you for some direction, if you are one of those people that look to the entertainers, the athletes, you know what I mean, the rappers and such, you know what I mean, to give you guidance, you know what I mean? But now let's talk about when she was like the success and the book and this and that. It's like, all right, obviously she like, yo, he stood up for his wife, and you know, you hate to bring this up, but the point is this. If you're going to take advice from women in this sense when it comes to relations, like, where your man at? Wasn't you just with Common last week, and wasn't you with such and such and moving with such and such? Now you're by yourself, and, you know, it would have been fly to say this was success look like standing there with, you know what I mean, with a black nigga on the side and both of y'all, you know what I mean? But, you know, obviously, and that world is passing around like a coal, and 1 week this person is dealing with this person, and 1 week this person is dealing with this person, like Fab said. And that gets me to this, even though it's not in the title, but it's spinning. So I want to have some thoughts on this. Because it's like Anthony Anderson, Mr. Anderson, you know, from Blackish, that's what he pretty much known for in the recent years. When he was on Law and Order, he, you know what I mean, obviously was in Malibu. He was in a lot of things, got the commercials with the drinks and the football Sunday and shit. So, you know, he in the news, they spinning the clip on him because for the second time in 5 years or 4 years or some shit like that, y'all may have to go on Google and get all the, you know, the nitty gritty details. But his wife, you know what I mean, of 22 years, like, you know what I mean, is filing for divorce and waking up on some, I'm not happy. And, you know, when it's situations like this, when it's irreconcilable differences, which is just, that's the trump cards. Like, you know what I mean? If you playing I Declare War, or if you playing Uno or some shit, you know what I mean? If you got the wild card, I think that's the best card to have. Or, yeah, the wild card, because you could do anything with it, you know what I mean? Or the queen on the board, that's the trump card. You could just wake up and just say that, and then everything is just over. And then it's like, after love is gone, like Molly and Jalen Rose, what used to be right is wrong, and you waking up, you know what I mean? 22 years later, like, I want everything, like, you know what I mean? When she leave you, she gonna leave with half. She trying to take everything, and then when you see the demands that she making, maybe he's a piece of shit guy, you know what I mean? Behind closed doors, people never really know, you know, what people are like behind closed doors. You just never really know. Unless they put it in the public and they show you what it's like. You know, Will and Jada, we didn't know none of these details and none of this shit in the beginning. It was like power couple this and this and this and that till you find out like, oh, this is some wild shit. This is some Jerry Springer shit. And, you know, being locked up, you know, Al Meyer had a TV. This one, when Springer for me, this one I got put up on in 97. Al Meyer, like, damn it, man. Know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, sitting in there waiting to fail, like, you know what I mean? And we used to go to Chow and come back and just to watch that shit because it was the, you know, back then they were showing a lot of, you know, little cleavage hair, or it was a little raunchier, and then it started, you know, getting watered down a little bit. But what she said on the red carpet table to her husband, that's definitely some Jerry Springer shit. That's some throw it in the books, throw it in the files, like, you know what I mean? That's some wild, wild, wild shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, only a few people look like held responsible. But back to this shit. You just wake up and now you like, I'm done with it. You know what I mean? And I want you to pay for the lawyer fees. I want you to pay your alimony. I want you, everything that you got since I've been here. We want state property, and I mean, not state property, community. And you know, when I filed for divorce and my shit was dissolved, we ain't have none. Like, you know what I mean? We regular degulars, like ordinary people. So there's no, you know, share houses and crops. Like, when you rich and you build yourself up like he did, you're going to have something to lose. And even on Nas, that's one of his best albums after Stillmatic, in my opinion. I mean, Hip Hop, Sports, POPAVIST 101. Hit the subscribe button. On that album there, when he I'm talking about Life Is Good. You know what I mean? When he was you know, detailing how it was to split from police. You know what I mean? And how they taking half and shit that you work for. You hear the shooting in the gyms. And you see it more and more. So it do lead you to believe to say, damn, this was the long game for a while. You know what I mean? And information like this should be out. You know what I mean? So you can say, damn. But at the end of the day, for the men, it's on you. Just like once you know, give the seed and it's received, you know what I mean? And she able to carry, there's nothing you can do about that. All the decisions is on her. It's her body, it's her choice, it's woo. It's even though it may not be right for neither, you know what I mean? And that's just how it is sometimes, you know what I mean? They still get to choose. So you get to choose, meaning you get the vet. And then if she filed before, and real quick, because this speculation is like maybe, kind of, sort of, allegedly, maybe it is. They saying right when she filed before, she rescinded because he got the role in Blackish. You know what I mean? This is Anthony Anderson I'm talking about, for those, you know what I mean? So it's like, damn, got the bag, so I'll stick around. And if you couldn't get her before you had paper, obviously when every situation is different with, you know, when it comes to relationships. You may start it from the bottom, now you're here together. She may have help you on some Mary J. Like, you know what I mean? 7 long years working as your secretary, doing all this shit for you and, you know, trying to help you get to the top. You got relationships like that, and then you got both where they both working, or maybe the guy's working, and then maybe even now, maybe the woman is working. It's stay-at-home dads. You know what I mean? Like, shit they be saying, you know what I mean? And I'm sure it is, you know, for whatever circumstance. You could have been in the army, you know what I mean, and got injured and disabled, but now it's how you play a role, or whatever it is. So there's always moving parts. But the thing is this, though, like, you're going to take everything. And the thing is, you know, it's just it's the trifleness of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, like, was I that bad? Like, even, you know what I mean? You ask yourself on some failure shit. Like, that's why I be like, I know what it's like to lose. You know what I mean? And for people that can relate, they can relate. You know what I mean? And you hear people say, well, if you never was in a long-term relationship, you shouldn't speak. Or they always hit that, you know what I mean? Like, was you married? Where's your kids at now? Why you ain't got a girl now? Like, shit like that. So if you up on these platforms, you know, on some love doctor shit, then, like, you know what I mean? All right? If you want some love doctor shit, like Dr. Knock Boots, and you giving advice, we definitely should have some experience in what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And in this case, it's like, you do feel like a loser. Like, damn, why did this shit work? You know what I mean? And then now when you learn from myself, running through these YouTube streets, running through these social media platforms, and they should have never. And I'm still looking for like, yo, I'm here now. And they should have never. You find out that most of the time it's women jumping out of the relationships, and then, you know, obviously with the toxic and the toxicity and, you know, the new buzzwords, and it's like, oh, damn, maybe all these niggas is toxic. But I take it back to locked up, when full transparency. I said that I was looking at mad people, because there was so many dudes, like, you know what I mean? So many dudes coming in there with mad stories, like, shit is like a psycho ward. And sometimes you just want to be like, damn, like, for real, just grab the gates and go crazy, because people is on the gates at night. But the gate is your bars, for those that don't know what I'm talking about. Talking to their celly, or even talking to the celly that's inside, you know what I mean? But you can hear what they saying, because it's space, and this is prison. You're going to hear the nigga flushing his toilet when you next to him. You hear the stories of the fuckery, the trifeness, the shystiness of some of the stuff that these baby mamas was doing to dudes. So I thought they just was lying, like keep it a buck. I didn't have no kids coming in young as an adolescent, hearing all these men, and then you think about your dad and how many siblings you got. You know, you just try to process it. You still trying to process it. You're young. And you say, damn, all these niggas, you got 2 baby mamas, you got 2, I mean, like you got 3, but how many baby mamas you got? Some dudes have like 6, 7 baby mamas. You know what I mean? That's people that I know very closely think 13. And you say, damn, Future, he only one man, but he got what, 8 women pregnant. Nick Cannon, one man, but how many women he got pregnant? So it's like, yeah, y'all carrying, it's a small percentage of the dudes who's populating, you know what I mean, the motherfucking kids, the Poogies and Ray Rays, so to speak. But you gonna do a nigga dirty, and it's like, damn, wow, like, you know what I mean? What do you get out of it? The long game? And this is what I want to lead to with the title, you know what I mean? Was Fury right in Boys in the Hood? In this aspect, because his character was ill, like, you know what I mean? And I remember going to the movie, seeing it, etc. And when Trey was in the school in the beginning, you know, he hit the boy with the stick and African booty scratcher. We used to make jokes of that. His moms just couldn't take it no more because for whatever they don't explain how she got him. Obviously they not together no more, but she got him, and now she can't take it no more. It's frustrating her. She like, listen, little nigga, you gonna go to your dad, and obviously with open arms, like, yeah, come on in. And that's what the movie is really about. Outside of they shooting, you know what I mean, Ricky in the back, and you know Brenda, Ice Cube, like shut up, bitch, and all this stuff that stuck out. The movie really was about. He had his father come save him, really. Saved him from the hood. Came, got him from Mama Love because she was smart enough to say, nah, I can't raise no man. Like, I can't raise, he's out of control. He's in school actually taking the chalkboard stick and busting people in the head with the aggression, acting out. So you need to go to your father so he can show you how to harness those emotions and you can direct it into the right place. And that's what happened. That's why as soon as he got there, you know what I mean? Like, it's a rake over there. There's garbage bags over there. Yeah, rake this lawn right here. Had to rake the lawn. Then when he came in the house, yeah, the tub was I don't know why the tub was looking nasty. That was the only part that was like, all right, you know what I mean? All right, Fury, why your tub looking all crazy? But he told Trey, like, yeah, clean the tub, clean the tub. And when Doughboy and all was doing what they was doing, you want to see a dead body? Even though he was able to hang with them in that regards, he didn't go to jail with them, didn't get nobody pregnant, and he ultimately was the one who went off to college. You know what I mean? Because his father was there to oversee and make sure he get the proper guidance that he needs to. Now, there's no knock on women that's, you know, single mothers, obviously. It's a lot of reasons. So, you know, people do go to the most extreme. But, you know, people get locked, and that's the Poogies and Ray Rays. People get killed. There's divorcees and stuff like that, but you still get to choose. And so the point of all this is you get to choose Anthony Anderson when you come into your fame and, you know, you come into your highest point. As Denzel was saying in the will, like, it's your highest moment, the devil gonna come and sound like some fly shit. And, you know, only you can tell as your highest moment if the devil came to you. Some of the highest moments is the best moments. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to understand that one still, but I get it. But you get to vet who you choosing to be with. You the one got the resources. So why not vet properly, and then also to live your life. Like, this is my life, you live yours, Kanye. On wait till I get my life. This is my life, you live yours. Let the champagne splash. Let that man get past. Like, you know what I mean? Live your life, Anderson. You've been 22, I think he, 49 or 50? So you spent a great deal when you was at the height. And then when you see athletes like the P.J. Washingtons that get tripped up by the Brittany, Renners and all, you say, damn it, man, how you get scooped up? You're supposed to be living free and exploring and enjoying life, really. And that's what most, that's what I did, so to speak. And a lot of people that have you isolated, or you know what I mean, locked up, or in the army, or you doing a certain thing for so long, and now you got freedom to, you know what I mean, do what you want. You should before you lock right in, and especially again when you see what people is doing, unfortunately. So now you about to lose everything. You see the Dr. Dre, you see the shit was toxic, fucking bitches, doing this, doing that, but you still didn't help build this shit. You still didn't help me stay up and memorize these speeches and these roles and shit like that. I still had to put foot to ass and go out and get it, you know what I mean, out the mud. And you benefited off that, you know what I mean? So like, damn, what's the mudslinging for? And again, we don't really know. Like, we don't know if he was some scumbag nigga. Maybe he'd come out that he was, because that's what people always say anyway. You was little dick, had little dick energy. You was used to talk bad about me, used to beat me, told Harpo to beat me, and you know, and that's really the side. So obviously he came out today. He cause she filed, he responded, and now it'll, you know, we'll see what happens. But you got to vet so that you don't have to be like a Black Rob, who's China's in the news now, and every time she's in the news, it's bad stuff. But I'm speaking about her, you know, entertainment, hip hop, and all POPAVISMs, because there's lessons to learn. Like, damn, why would you know what type of chick she is, Rob, but because you don't get no Bunningtons probably, and I get it, it's hard. You know what I mean? It could be hard out here on the pimp, especially in today's time. It's not really going back a few years where you could just go out to a spot, really mingle, really buy a drink, really talk, and you still could do that now, of course. I be out and about still, not as much as I used to, because it's just not, you don't got that feeling no more really, and you know what I mean, you just get tired of it. You want to do other things, you know what I mean? But I don't knock those who do. If you in that space, then enjoy it, because it don't last forever, you know what I mean? You can't be, you know what I mean, stripping at 40. Same thing with niggas hustling, et cetera, et cetera. If you make it to a certain age, then you need to figure it out. So, you know, like that's a Lloyd Bank reference, by the way. You can't strip in a strip club when you're 40, because they want they want the newer model. You may get the surgery and get all that, but yeah, it's not going to be hitting like it was hitting before. It's just not. And that's just for nobody. So you either could bow out gracefully and hope, you know what I mean? Because you definitely going to get fouled out the game. It ain't going to be a whole line when you bowing out gracefully. They're going to tell you to exit to the left and hit stage left, because it's just not popping like it was no more. And that's just part of life if you even blessed to live. So the thing is, you know, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? What are we doing? And the thing is, every day it's a blessing and a gift. So what are you doing? You need to vet your time, you need to live your life, and then you can pair up and do some shit. At Lover said 40. And you know, in other countries, obviously they do it a little different. I was in the spot the other day, and you know, my guy and shit, he Dominicano. They was bringing in mad cases of wine and shit, like mad, like some. It looked like Moscato or something, but it was from DR. And it was just after I noticed waiting to put my bets in and shit, just keep noticing people coming in. So I'm like, yo, what's all the joints right here? He like, oh, celebrating, and my daughter, ooh, it's the big, and then he like, she turned 15. So after I think I put a bet in it, so I'm thinking about, I'm saying, damn, 15. I said, then it popped out. I said, well, like the sweet 16, and then a person behind me was like, yeah, over there it's 15. So you know what I mean? I said, oh, I just learned something. So everybody do things a little different, whether you agree or you don't agree. But the thing is, you know what I mean? You got a choice to choose, and whatever you do with your time is on you. You know what I mean? Whatever you do when your time is on you. Sorry for the interruption. Let's get to this last shit though real quick. This last shit. First of all, my Knicks took an L tonight. They was on a 4-game losing streak. Real quick for all my Knicks fans, all of the Knicks supporters. This year we not making the playing game. It's quiet for us. Only way we was gonna be able to do that, like I was telling Gray today, shout out to my nigga Gray. Like, yo, you think they could do it? Nah, they got to win all of their games, and they got to hope Atlanta, who beat us last year, you know what I mean? This is woo-woo-woo. Oh, but this last year, right? So this is the crazy shit, like hump day. So there's a story coming out of Chicago, right? Where, and y'all probably heard of this story because it's a wild, crazy story. Where one of the police chiefs, you know, daughters was driving around with, you know, with a known drug dealer, where they had some dope in the joint, in the Benz or whatever type of car it was. They got pulled over, body camera show. Lady started going off like, you know, my mom's is probably your boss, and just crazy. She don't go to jail. They give her the keys to get her shit out, and you know, it's an ongoing investigation. I said, damn, I said, Chief Mom's daughter driving around with smack in the car, like Sunshine when they put the sugar in the shit, and Harlem Nights, and you with Lady Heron, like you Lady Heron, And I'm being funny, but I'm not. But I'm like, damn, this is why, for me personally, as a person that's been, inside, been arrested a few times, obviously you can't pigeon all of the officers and the people that serve the community as one. I never do that. Even though sometimes it's hard not to, case by case, when you see the fuckery and obviously the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. But I don't pigeon-toe everybody. But because of the experience where you see people abuse their power, like I said, you come into work, you don't got to go out of your way to do the shit that you do. Take people mail, take their commissary, dead them on a visit, like send them like your family will come see you. This is just an instance of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? When you locked up, and I'm speaking about the chief police in Chicago, I believe, where her daughter was driving around with the smack in the car, abuse of power, etc. In places like this where it's shielded and you really don't have, like, you don't know who's who. As far as that can help you if you want to fight legally, because you really don't got no wins unless you're just going to wild out. They call you for a visit, you know what I mean? You only get visits on the weekend, you know what I mean? If you're in the medium every day, you're in the max. 7 to 8 hour visit. Visits start at 8 o'clock. People be there before the visits start because that's how the buses get there, you know what I mean? And even if you drive, and most people try to get there around the same time as the bus, so they don't got to be waiting, man, long before they go see their visit. Your visit will be there at 8 o'clock. Like I said, visits start at 8:30. You won't go on the visit till 11. Like shit like that, because they won't call you. You know what I mean? Or just the little fuckery that they do, and it's like you doing your time. You know what I mean? Just do your job. Why abuse your power and then go out of your way to make it more harder? Only because you can, and there's really no resolve. Then when you, let's say, write a grievance, you try to fight the system, power to the system. You write a grievance, you send it upstairs. It's one of his sergeants looking at the shit. You know what I mean? Like, they go home every day together. You went here. And so it was just like, damn, then you try to send it to Albany, to higher ups, and they just kick that shit back down because they don't really give a fuck. But I say that to say, it's like, damn, they ain't even lock her up. Just think about that. That's some real Gotham movie shit. Like, you the chief of police, and that's not to say it probably won't happen, because it definitely all ears and all eyes to see what they're going to say about this. You know what I mean? Because that shit crazy. It's like some movie, the Brooklyn shit, or, the Boston joint where the cops was dirty. You know what I mean? And, they doing all type of underhand shit with the drug dealers and shit like that. And then you say, damn, wonder why Chicago was super, 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 super crazy when it comes to the drugs and obviously the killing left and right. Like it's some Cali, it's like some West Coast shit. And that's why I was like, it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was super crazy. You know what I mean? Like you just walk home with 600,000 or whatever the amount of money, I guess, after it's sold. That's how they total it up. Like, you know what I mean? So if it's a key, they breaking it down and then saying it's XYZ. So it's like, all right, she go home and that's it. Like the press conference and all that. Like we investigating and damn, this shit crazy. So we'll just say, damn. I think about, you know what I mean, when people in they power, or the police go in the precinct and just smack you and just beat you and do you dirty. Just like Trump was like, just push their head in a little harder. Trump a funny motherfucker, you know what I mean? Just push their heads in a little harder. Let them know, you know what I mean? They did some shit. So people do go out of the way to fuck you over, you know what I mean? But you're black, Tiffany Haddish, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's what we need to do, in my opinion, when the whole spotlight is on you. Like when you got your 15 minute of fame and you Gucci and you Louis, fellas make smarter decisions. Like Anthony Anderson, I hate it had to be him. Good guy, like I said, overall, you know what I mean? Good guy, you know what I mean? And it's like, good luck, my nigga. Good guy overall, so you hate for this to happen. But it's not over for him. He probably gonna get in the gym now, you know what I mean? Stay out the washing machine and come back greater than ever. Might get a younger joint, go through that phase, you know what I mean? Because that's what people do after, long years of breakups. You got to figure it out. Some people get their skates and hit the skating ring and try to, you know what I mean? Try to roll out. But you know what it is. It's your boy, POPAVIST. You was just tuned in. POPAVIST TV. We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling. Back up in here. One more